Amanda.
And we're live.
And
Oh,
we're live.
what a way to go on. Hey, everybody. Um,
Right. Yay, everybody.
yes, Tuesday
Man.
night bully talk.
Yep,
Take it
yep,
away, Amanda.
yep.
I'm sorry.
No, absolutely. Well, we've got a very special guest. Is a gentleman that we've had the privilege of speaking to on multiple occasions. We love him to death. We especially love his beard as well. It's a whole nother character. So in all reality, we should have 5 windows here. Uh, uh, I would love for you to, for anybody who is new to meeting you, I would love to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself, give us your kennel name, and then what got you into bullies, and then we'll start catching up.
All right, sounds good. My name's Jerry James. I am the owner and proprietor of Dubtown Bullies here in the great state of Oklahoma. And what got me into bullies was let's see, I'm trying to think. I was about 3.5 years into being disabled. And I was having a rough time. I had a little bitty dog, but I don't know. I just something about me. I just said, I wanted to get a bigger dog, and a guy and I don't even really recall how it came about, but I remember I saw the guy or I saw a guy on Facebook, and then I think I messaged him, and he told me about a guy that kind of lived out where my parents do, and stopped out there, and I was able to get a dog from him. And I mean, and I'm a lifetime dog owner, right? But I didn't know what an American. I mean, I'm 50. Let's see, I was like 55 years old then, and I had never heard of an American Bully, never.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, those are really cool looking. And so I was able to. It was my birthday, and so I went out there and got a dog. Got the dog. I met him before my birthday, but then I went out there on my birthday, got the dog. And I tell you, I fell over the moon. He was 14 months old, and he was pretty kind of kennel raised outside and that kind of thing. So I
Yeah.
mean, it was rough doing the house breaking and all that stuff. But I'm gonna tell you, temperament wise and everything, I just fell in love with him, and having been a former horse breeder and really needing something to put my energies back into because my disability really took all those things away from me. I made the decision that maybe I could, if I bred horses, maybe I could breed dogs.
Yeah.
5 years later, here we are, more broke than ever.
They have that effect. It's terrible.
Hey, there's always the saying in horses, right? The only way to make a small fortune in horses is to start with a large one. I
Wow.
mean, so
That's a new one. That's a new one.
but I will say this that I was a guy, for many, many years that was very focused on my career and kind of a type A personality and that kind of thing. But the only two times in my life that I really kind of took the focus off of me and what I wanted and that kind of thing. And I never had a kids and so on. So some might say I was a selfish person, and I'm not going to deny that. It's just certain things that I wanted right in my life. And but the only time I ever have set those things to the side was either for my horses and now for my dogs. They make me a better person.
I like that.
Dang. Yeah. Oh yeah. And you meet kind of learn a little bit more about yourself, I think, when you get into stuff like this. You also
Oh,
meet
for
a bunch of
sure.
people that you would have never met in a million years, through this. So it's definitely life altering for
Well,
sure.
it's expanded my social circle for sure because I'm hard to love.
I haven't had a hard time to love you, just saying. I mean,
Well, there's just not that many people who've ever really taken too much time to get to know me, So I come across, I think,
I
as a little spiny maybe or something. I don't know, but
oh yeah. I mean, and I actually like I'm I'm kind of introverted to a degree, so it's one of those things
Yeah.
where in order to do this, I had to come out of my shell, and then now doing the show, I've had to come even further out of my shell, and
Right.
so it's it changes so many aspects of your life down to how you rationalize things, how you schedule yourself. You know, it's wild, it's so wild. You
It
wouldn't.
Well,
is.
and the other thing, all the back surgeries, the disability, losing everything that you've worked so hard for in your life, kind of has a different way of realigning your priorities and about what's important in life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that has probably had more of an impact than anything in terms of resetting things. But the dogs have just been a lifesaver, literally.
Yeah. Hey,
Definitely.
Jerry, and you know what, man? I appreciate you, you know, being who you are. I appreciate the positive videos that, the lives that you be coming on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And, but I can't watch all of them when you're live, but I do watch them when I get a chance to watch them. And they always be positive. I appreciate you for that, man. And, sometimes, we'll talk behind the scenes a little bit, not much. You might
Yeah.
ask me something, but man, you got really quality dogs. And I think I remember you saying you were just trying to create that perfect dog. Then that's what you said. You was trying to create it better, a better dog. But seems like to me you got nice dogs, man, and I just can't take nothing away from you. You study your breedings, you plan your breedings, you ahead of things, and seem like to me you just get better and better. You can't go
Yeah.
backwards. You always go forward.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all. Yeah, that's always the goal. But it's kind of like they say, in sniper school, right? Aim small, miss small.
Small. Yep. I agree.
I like
No,
that.
So
we're learning
So
all kinds.
what I'm saying there, right, is if I'm looking to create the perfect dog, which there's no such thing, but if I'm looking to create that and I don't quite do it, then I probably have some pretty decent dogs, right?
Yeah. Won't be far off from it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
progress, not
And
perfection.
so so aim small, miss small, right? So
That's fair.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm here
No,
for it.
hey,
Now,
Amanda. Hey, I love Jerry's program over there. I've been watching
Yeah.
it really from probably day one. I remember him working at what was it, AutoZone, and you would literally
yeah.
go outside on your breaks and would talk dog, would just go live and giving education
Yeah.
as he got it. And he was so transparent and watching his program blossom into this. Like I love his boy. His boy's got a nice dome. Man, I think
Big
he's very,
dome.
very underrated.
Yeah.
let's
But Jerry, man, I just wanted to pour that on before we get any further in the conversations. I love watching your program and what Bruce said, like the positive videos and the knowledge. Like like you said, I like that you were a breeder of horses before. You understood the art of breeding. You understood, how to
pairing.
study pedigrees and things like that, and the look and what you're going for, and how you were incorporating that into the dogs, and you're not swayed by anyone, you're not swayed by the hot stud. You know exactly in your head what dog that you want to try to create, and you are headed there. And I love watching it, so I just wanted to make sure I leave that remark today.
And
Well,
before we get into it, Jerry, hey, I appreciate everybody for tuning in with us. Remember first Monday of every month we on QBN with Raul. Come
Hmm.
join us.
Mhm.
Shout out to Big Blue Bullies for sending me this shirt to wear. If you got shirts,
Yeah.
hats, anything, hey, we'll support your brand, and we just only won't wear it one time. We'll wear it twice, 2 or 3 times, 4 times.
Mhm.
So get
Yeah,
with me, Caleb, Amanda. Either one, we'll support your brand.
absolutely. Yep, I
Absolutely.
actually wore my shirt last week, the same shirt.
Yeah.
hmm Oh yeah. No, I'm rocking the Monster Mash shirt. I was super happy to be there. So definitely loved being a part of that and supporting friends and making sure that we're getting Alabama back on the grid.
Damn
Um,
right.
well, I'll
so
tell you, I'll tell you what, guys. Raw QBN is as good as they come.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt.
good cat, good cat. And yeah, he's we had that discussion not too long ago, and we all basically have that same sentiment where it's all about the dogs or it's about nothing at all. So, so yeah, very, very like-minded man. So we're happy to be in partnership with him. So we look forward to this. I believe this is next Monday will be our Monday on with the next.
Yeah.
So back to you, Jerry.
And Caleb, I don't know why you always have been such a big supporter, but I'm certainly grateful.
Always will, man.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, and the thing is like a lot of it is your integrity. Like we are drawn to people that breed these dogs and show these dogs, but they do it with a level of integrity, and you absolutely do. So that just it kind of endears you to us. So it comes naturally.
Well, hey, this is my third time being on, and you guys have been on for 3 years. So at least
Yep.
I guess I'm a regular now.
You are.
That ought to tell you we like you, Jerry.
Well, it ought to, or you're hard up for people to talk to.
Hardly. No, this is us just showing you love because we have so much fun when you're on because again, we love talking dogs and that we love catching up with you, especially since I think it's been a little while since you were on the last, but I wanted to kind of
almost a year. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about this litter that you've got. How old are they now? Are they at 8 weeks old, or how old are they now?
Let's see. They will be. Let's see. I think 13 weeks on Friday.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I'm way off. Dang.
I know they were born August the 1st, so it's either 12 or 13 weeks. I'm pretty sure. Me and the wife we're talking about tonight. She's like, I think she said 13 weeks. So yeah. They're
beautiful.
They're wonderful little shits, and it was we got a litter of 7, 4 males and 3 females, and I gotta really have to talk with Buster about that. He can't seem to get the equation right. He needs to give me more females than males, right?
Exactly.
But this was my first litter to ever whelp, right?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, now for a guy that's had 11 back surgeries, all the bending down and being on the floor and stuff like that, and especially when you're a little fat guy anyway, and then when when your back don't bend, it's even harder, right? But it has been one of the biggest joys, I tell you, watching these little guys, especially. My favorite time is like when they're 4 and 5 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, just
very formative.
And so, it's just been, and I was so worried about the whelping process and everything, and literally I was scared about it. Delivering horses, having horses is way different, than dogs.
Yeah.
Horses really aren't that dependent on you. You get them. You make sure they come out of mama and everything okay, and you make sure they nurse and get the colostrum and kind of get on their way. And after that, they don't need you.
No, they're walking on day one. It's like, okay.
Literally.
I see it. Yes, great.
You go in, and you touch them and you desensitize and things like that, but they don't need you. You could turn them out in the pasture, and and all they need is their mama. Whelping, this is a whole different deal. And but it's gone great, and I've just loved it. You just have loved it. And so now we have Buster's second in-house litter in there. They will be, man, I tell you what, time flies. I think right now they're 5 weeks old. They were 5 weeks old yesterday.
Nice.
Man, there's is it the 13-week-old litter or the 5-week-old litter where one of those girls is literally Buster the
Buster
Incarnate.
Jr. Uh-huh.
Like, just she's her father. Like, it's a female.
It is, yeah, it's this current litter. They all really, when they're little. I mean, so the thing that's really cool is all 13 puppies that we've had here now in the last, 2 months or whatever it's been.
Mhm.
You know, these babies have all had Buster's head. That's one
Heck
thing
yeah.
so far is the top skull, the eye separation. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the big thing is the top skull, right? I mean, that head, it has been there. Now,
Hmm.
now whether they end up with the same size head, but he's put that top skull on every puppy, right?
Yeah.
And this 5 week old litter, she's 100% Razor's Edge dog. She's got a nice head. She's a beautiful girl, but she's a little more terrier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every one of these puppies got that top skull and that big eye separation. So he seems to be doing a good job with the headpiece.
I like that. If he can stamp that boy, he's got it.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
and they're all pretty compact. So yeah, I'm really pleased. So far I'm really, really, really pleased. We sold the this past weekend, I would say the last just publicly available pup for sale kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Or I delivered the last one, right? I have one male that's available for co-own to a show home. And it's one of those things that if I don't find the show home, then I keep him and show him myself and no big
Yeah.
deal, right?
Yeah.
So, um, but no, I'm extremely grateful that people loved him enough that there was no issue finding them great homes.
No, they're
Nice.
yeah, that both of those litters, and especially this young one, they're so pleasing to the eye. So I'm excited to see where they head, and I'm really excited. Have you just which ones are you? When are you picking your keepers?
Well, we already picked the keepers on obviously on the first litter here, the older one. I mean, we're all settled on that. The last puppy gets picked up Friday. He's coming from Texas, and to pick him up, and then we're down to the three that we're keeping, right? I'm definitely I kept my female, kept my female out of it, and then whether I end up with a male, or not is fine. One of them's going to our buddy Michael Higginson, and
Hey,
and
Nice.
and his wife. She wanted a smaller dog, and I said, well, I think I got something I hook you up with,
I love it.
and so he'll get shown, and be in a different part of the country so other people can kind of see a little bit
Yeah.
of Buster's work, that kind of thing. So I'm tickled to death about that. But and then like I say, whether I find him a show home or not, is whatever. It's okay either way, right?
Oh, absolutely. And so
Yes.
so you're saying that you had the three keepers. When did you pick those three keepers from this 13-week-old litter? At what age did you pick them, and why? What made you pick them?
I was pretty set at 6 weeks, but I verified at 8 because that's for me. It's 8 weeks plus or minus 3 days. That's when I really make you know, that's when I really make my cuts. I didn't really have to worry about headpiece or anything, so that wasn't a concern. So I wasn't worried about
Nice.
that. My biggest focus on this litter was trying to improve the rear end. So I was specifically looking. I mean, all other things being equal, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I specifically was looking for a better turn to stifle.
Did you get it?
I did.
Nice.
I did. I got so Yeah, I got three that are just really nice, um,
Yeah.
in that department, because Buster's, and I will never lie to anybody about Buster's weaknesses. Buster's weakness is a lack of turn to stifle. He's got a little bit, but it needs to be better. And
Yeah.
so when you start thinking about, well, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to breed to? Well, that's the thing I got to work on. He
Mm-hmm.
don't. I don't need more mass. I don't need more bone. I don't need a better head. I need a better
Rear.
turn to stifle.
I
Mm-hmm.
like it.
So that's what we're working on.
Yeah.
Dang. So you kept three from this litter, the one that's 5 weeks old. You keeping all them or any of them?
Well, okay. So this is a split litter with I co-own her with a buddy of mine, Juan Martinez, and No Coast Bully Bliss Bullies, right?
Okay.
And so since we got six pups, we get three each, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I get first pick because I
Nice.
had to. So this whole deal is that um, she is 5 years old, over 5 years old, never had a litter, right? And so, the whole thing premise is to, at least right off the bat, to breed her to 100% old school blood stud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we did that the first time, and I mean, numbers were perfect. We live covered her 5 days in a row, and she didn't get pregnant. And you're thinking, 5 years old, this and that, can she get pregnant, right? I mean,
Yeah.
is it too late? Is it whatever? Well,
Mm-hmm.
we got so when she came in heat this last time, had to look. I'm gonna say we had some issues with the vet. They didn't really want. Her numbers got too high on us, I guess. They said, I disagree, but the word that I got was they didn't want to do the breeding or wouldn't do the breeding. So it's like, okay. And I told Juan, I said, look, I said, her numbers are just perfect to do an AI. I said, I know we wanted to do 100% old school dog the first time around, and then Buster, because I was going to get to pick the second breed, right? And I was going to use
Yeah.
Buster on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just let me use Buster. At least that way we'll know whether or not she can even get pregnant, or at least let's give it a try and see if we can get her pregnant,
Yeah.
right? And then,
Yeah.
so I brought her home. She was at a 13.7. You're perfect for an AI, right?
Nice. Yeah.
Brought her home, AI'd her, skipped a day, AI'd her, then another day. Lo and behold, she got pregnant. So, okay. So I got my part of the deal out of the way first. So then we'll be running her to an all old school dog. This next time we'll be going back to back until we're done, right? Just to make sure we keep her, for lack of a better way to say it, make sure we keep her juices flowing, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sir.
Hit.
Once they hit a certain age, trying to skip heats is probably not.
Yeah. Hit it. So we're gonna hit her while she's hot, right? But so yeah, it's a 50-50 split. So I get three, he gets three. I get to pick first though.
Mhm.
So and so I'm excited about. I think this litter is actually better than the first.
Nice.
Oh, dang.
So are
okay.
you whelping them or is he whelping them?
No, I welcome.
Nice. So you get to see him
Yeah.
every day. So
Yeah, you're
first
seeing-
pick
Yeah.
is very, very
Yeah, I have
Nice.
the advantage. No,
home
I would-
field advantage. They
home
call it.
field advantage.
Right.
But and the reason why I say that is because, and the female's name is Haven, and she's a lot of old Blue Force and Black Label blood, and but
Nice.
this girl, she's a beautiful fawn dog, but she's got an amazing rear end, just beautiful turn to stifle, great angulation, right? All those things. So I'm like, man, if I can get a Buster with that rear end,
Yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh.
would just be out of this world, right? And I think we did. I think we got a bunch of them actually. So they are very square, very compact. They all look to have good turn to stifle. But I have to tell you about the first female, and she is the only blue tri in the litter.
Dang.
Every all the other dogs are smut.
Yeah.
They're smut. They're buster.
They're busted.
Um, they're busters. So at 4 weeks of age, she weighed 6 pounds,
Nice.
and she was a full 20 ounces bigger than the next biggest pup in the litter.
Wow.
Mm.
She's
Dang.
a monster. Now, I have learned from experience that the biggest pup at 8 weeks don't mean that's going to be the biggest pup at 2 years.
Yeah.
But damn,
Yeah. So
she's
they're
a
5 weeks right now.
yeah,
Not
yeah.
this one. Not this one, babe.
Yeah. No, I
She
like that. Hey, and Jerry, you said something on the last time you came on the live too. I believe it's 6 weeks, 2 days. In the book that you were talking about, that they actually say that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when they get older, like at what 6 weeks, 2 days, that's pretty much an image of what they're going to look like when they get older. That's the best time to pick
well,
of the litter.
you're you're pretty close. It's 8 weeks plus or minus three.
Okay, so 8 weeks plus or minus three. That's why you make the
Yeah.
decision at that point. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I was a
Yes,
couple
sir.
weeks off. I like that.
Yeah.
So the evaluation process, because I like this topic. I want to kind of hit on this for a second. The
Mhm.
evaluation process, when does that start? And then you say that the final pick is made within 2 to 3 days of the 8 week mark, either positive or minus the 8 week mark.
Yeah. Well, when you're whelping, you see them every day. You watch them change.
Yeah.
You get to look at them, but they change. They change a lot from 5 to 8 weeks.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Their
I mean,
personality change, their temperament change.
personalities, just even just other things. They change a lot, so it warrants taking I mean, as they go, you're going to look and you're going to go, okay, okay, I think this is this one, and so on. But I
Medicine
try
ball.
to stay objective and really wait for that 8 week snapshot, and then really make my
yeah.
picks then,
No, I
but
like that. But yeah, when you're whelping the litter, the evaluation process starts at birth. Like you
Oh,
get to see them
absolutely.
starts
every single
starts every
day.
day.
Every day. There's a new one that might pull to the head, but every day
Yep.
you're
Yeah,
evaluating them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, and Jerry,
What's
you
that?
know
Oh,
what, man?
yeah.
Listen at you talking about, the bloodlines. You can't really, and I didn't even know there was people still breeding the old razor's edge bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the era, the new era of this dog breed, and like the black label line. You don't hear people breeding, that kind of dogs no more. And then if so, like I never seen um now to date a pure razor's edge bloodline dog in the show ring unless they change the name on the bloodline.
Yeah.
Right. They're
You
not
see where I'm
calling it
going?
by
So
razor's
you
edge.
really don't know. They might say just like I'm just throwing out this out for example, like
Mhm.
Grim, okay, or Brim or whatever. I don't know where that lineage come from because I've never seen his pedigree, and he might have razor's edge. You know what I'm saying? It could be a razor's edge dog that they done changed the lineage up on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's hard to find old school razor's edge. It is. It's really
It
hard.
is. I will tell you, and I don't know whether it's where I live, or you're gonna find probably more of it, I would guess, out on the East Coast where it originated from. But you know, there's a decent amount of it here in Oklahoma, and a lot of that would be because of Sean Mullins and Blue Force bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Blue Force dogs were also used in the in the Black Label group, and but you're right. It is getting harder and harder to find dog. Let's just call it dogs with no Dax or Miyagi in it. Okay,
Right.
let's just call it that, right? Um, and I'm going, and obviously, so hey, this is my night, so these are my opinions, right? They're not the opinions of anybody
Yep.
else, and that kind of thing. But I think that's one of the biggest tragedies in our breed right now is the under you and the biggest not only tragedy but an error in breeding strategy is one of the most underutilized you know bloodlines anymore. Most of these dogs, I mean all these dogs, right? I mean, they got razor's edge in them somewhere, way
Yeah.
back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, way back.
Right.
But the mistake is not pulling any of that forward to the forefront, right?
Right. Yep.
And but you have to be look, not all razor's edge, not all gaudy dogs, not you know, Caleb, you would probably know not all Muggleston, right? Not all dogs are created equal. You still have to hold the razor's edge dogs, the gaudy line
Absolutely.
dogs, the Muggleston dogs to the standard, right? If you're going to use them, because there are a lot of dogs that you know, yeah, they're there, but you probably shouldn't be using them to breed with, right?
Right.
Right.
Not even as tools.
Um, the things that they're lacking, and they're really terrier looking or that kind of thing, Haven lacks a little bit of top skull, but she has a nice stop, and she has that beautiful little crease, she has a nice
Hmm.
deep stop and everything. She just needed more top skull. Well, I happen to have a dog here that's got plenty of top skull. So I wasn't too worried. I wasn't too worried about that part of things. What I wanted was her athleticism and her rear end and the other things were just as good. She's a beautiful dog. But yeah, and I get it, there's people always say, well, you don't breed backwards, because well, it's backwards. We've already gone past that, right?
Yeah.
We've gotten better than our past. And I would say that in a lot of ways, that is absolutely not true. And we need to be utilizing the old dogs a heck of a lot more than what we have been, because the lifespan of our dogs has damn near been cut in half. And
Hmm.
it's because, by and large, the community has elected to go with more bulldog, right? And so the lifespan of the dog has just gotten shorter. And there's, we've talked about this before. There are ways to incorporate both correctly and still maintain the health of the dog,
Yeah.
Yes.
but it requires a lot of nuance and understanding of not only science but also discipline and not chasing the bag and not chasing clout, not doing what the next person's doing,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. I mean, it really takes a focus on what's best for the dog and not what's best for my ego.
Right, right, and we've had that again. We've spoken on that too, and we came to the
Yep.
conclusion that essentially more bulldog, more problems, and
Yep.
that's fair. So when you talk about Jerry, when you talk about trying to breed back into those old school bloodlines, I mean that it's a necessity. It has to be. It's almost as necessary as obviously when you're trying to get XLs back to the breed standard, breeding them to
Mhm.
standards. It's that same necessity. It has to absolutely happen just to try to get things back to an even keel where we're having these dogs for more than 5 to 7 years. We're not having to have nair surgeries and palate surgeries and whatnot. I mean, it's a whole thing. These dogs, can't even have them outside for more than 5 minutes before they start overheating.
Yeah, right.
Man.
Well, if you want to look at it as, any product, right? Let's just say any product that's manufactured, right? It's oh shoot, there used to be a time, right, when Maytag was a great appliance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just bulletproof, well, old refrigerators, for instance. I mean, there's a lot of people you can see and they talk about it. They got a refrigerator out there and the thing's 30 years old and it's still
Yeah.
working, right? Because
Yeah.
they weren't engineered to fail, right?
Right.
That's right.
The way things are engineered and manufactured now, they're
I
engineered to
like that.
fail because when you do that, right, it
To come
creates
back and
more
spend more
sales.
money.
It
Yeah,
creates more
exactly.
sales. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying that's uh, intentionally what has happened with our dogs. I really don't believe that. But in a way, the dogs have kind of been now engineered to fail. Um, and when I say fail, I just mean the lifespan, right?
Oh yeah.
Instead of a 12-year lifspan, we're looking more at 6 to 8. You know,
Right.
kind of the
Yeah.
Absolutely.
same way with appliances. Instead of 30, I bought in 20, 2018.
Mm.
2018, when I got my disability settlement and all my back pay and everything, right? So like I'm starting all over and stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy me a Maytag refrigerator.
Right. Right. I remember how awesome and solid they were. Oh.
Yeah, I bought myself a Maytag refrigerator and I had to replace it in 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I
And
mean,
I'm like, I was so mad.
I would be too. And the thing is with these dogs that, I mean, you can see, Lois and Corey in the comments, and they're on point with it. It's just, we started to, um, take vision over functionality, and we started like looking at these extreme trends, and we're trying to implement them in trying to make these dogs overdone. And we're sitting there like, oh, as long as they can move. It's got to be
Yeah.
bigger than that. It's got to be more than that. It's dogs have to also live a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
You don't these dogs get fat. They get fat if you let them. And the problem is
They will.
yes, they will. And because they're dogs, they're a companion breed. This isn't a pit bull terrier. This isn't a bull terrier. These
No.
dogs are not as active in a general sense. Now, some of them
Yeah.
kind of catch those rarities, where, you've got them running, fast cats and lure coursing and, obstacle courses. And yeah, some of them are going to be able to do that. But for the most part, most of them are couch potatoes. They're companions. They don't have as high a drive. And so unfortunately, you really have to combat obesity in that sense. But when mass becomes such a heavy trend, such a desired trend, people are letting their dogs get fat on purpose.
Yeah.
It's wild to me.
Yeah, and that's that's the wrong kind of that's it's just the wrong kind of extreme.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't have any skinny dogs at my house, but I still try to keep
Healthy.
them. I still try to keep them. You know, uh, I got 3 dogs from my first litter, which was that dog was from Chicken and Waffles, who was a Waffle House son, but he was 100% old school dog, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
they man, they got a good amount, I say good, a fair amount of drive in them, but I mean, they stay chunky on 3 cups of kibble a day.
Right. They wake up like this, and that's great.
Yeah, they
Most
just,
times they're eating
it's like
it. Yeah. They
I
can
got to be so careful with them, or They just, and I know they probably feel like their throat's been cut, but I'm like, I'm sorry, if you're like me, you're chunky.
I can't let you turn to fat. It's not
I
going
can't, I
to.
can't, and I just, I can't do it. So, but yeah, it's, and I will say this, there is, if you want to do an extreme breeding, um, we talk about tool dogs and things like that, right? You want to do an extreme breeding to then, turn around and come back and do something with that. If you've got a
Yeah,
plan in
exactly.
mind, right?
There we go.
Um, to then kind of create a happy medium, in
Yeah.
between type deal, then that's okay. But to me, there really needs to be a purpose for it. And then when you do that, uh, pick the best, fittest, balanced,
Mhm.
correct, extreme dog that you can,
And then go from
right?
there. Mhm.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
that's one that can move, one that can breathe, one that is healthy. And there are some out there, right?
Oh,
So it's so much of this dog breeding thing is spending the time to make the right selections and not following the
Mm,
just not following the crowd.
100%.
I mean,
yeah.
I think that is so much of it.
Oh, for sure.
Because there are really good dogs out there that are underutilized. So many good dogs that are
Yes.
underutilized.
Agreed. Absolutely. And so many of those dogs that they don't get seen as much. When we're huge advocates for getting dogs out there. If it's a good looking dog and it's a healthy good looking dog, take it to shows. Whether or not you put it in the show ring, which again I think would be a tragedy on your own part if you don't. But even if you don't
Yeah, yeah.
that dog in the ring, get it out there. Put people's eyes and hands on these dogs, so that way we can start working towards better features. You're still getting that more boned up masked look, but you're still you're maintaining the health, the temperament, the movement. It's got to start somewhere. But yeah, there are a ton of underutilized dogs. You're 100% right.
Well, that's like for the XLs, and now you've got Apollo, right? I mean, it's come out of you
No.
know like no like nowhere. And I I,
Yeah.
I looked at I looked at his pedigree, and I'm like, well, first I don't know XLs that well anyway, but I was like, I don't know. And by the way, see, his owner is Williams. Is that right? Was it
Yeah.
Williams?
Yeah.
William DeBose. Yep.
Hmm.
What a great interview last week. That was really incredible. I mean, that's kind of what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really something,
Hmm.
and but I don't feel like, you know, I just don't feel like enough people put enough effort into planning their breedings.
Hmm.
100%.
Yeah.
As a general, I just don't think that I just don't think they really do. I think if it's hype, I'm running with it, right? And
Yeah.
and that's just my opinion, but um, I've always felt like I always went well under the premise that the judge doesn't know what the bloodlines of the dog are when I put him out there in the show ring.
That's
You
right.
don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know
Yeah.
Exactly.
if he
Exactly.
looks. If he looks. I mean, we want the dog to look like the standard, or we're trying to get there, right? But I mean, other than that judge, he don't know.
Yes. And
Yeah.
Jerry, you've hit on it. You really hit on it so many times tonight when you're talking about a lot of people are breeding to the hype dogs and then they're not doing it for a reason to better the program because there's very, very few programs now. Like you said,
There
a lot of
are.
people are doing it for, the dollar. They're looking at the
That's right.
clientele and what they're buying. So they
Yeah.
want to better off the clientele so they can get money instead of bettering their program, because very, very few are looking at the next breeding, or they're looking at a hype dog for that, whoever's hot, because they can make the hot dollar. There's not enough programs. There's not enough people that are looking at 3, 4 generations down the road. And like you said, that's why I love talking to you, about the breeding that you're doing and how you're trying to get a better turn of the stifle. That's educated breeding. Now you're looking, I want to stamp that. I see Buster stamping his pups. I know
Yes.
I'm getting the top skull. I know I'm getting the apple cheeks. I know that he's bringing that. Let me perfect what I'm trying to do, and let me bring a female that's doing that. There's very, very, very few people that are doing that, because a lot of them are going after the hype dogs and they're overlooking the dog that fits perfectly. And what's crazy is, which price doesn't matter, but it's half the price of the hype dog. The hype dog is that price because it's the hype dog. So you could do half the price and better that dog to go further, but you go to the hype dog that's actually taking a step backwards because you're listening to the surrounding people. You're looking at it as a clientele instead of looking at it as, how do I better this? How do I
Yeah.
better this? But hey, I could
Well,
go on
it's
forever.
yeah, me too. But it's a it's a common thing. It happens in every breed. There are a handful of studs that that everybody's using because you know they're the popular ones, right? And
Right.
granted, okay, they're popular maybe. They either won nationals and great. I mean, that's generally picking a nationals winner would be a good thing for your program if it fit your program. See, and that's
Exactly.
the, that's the thing
Asterisk.
about me is none of the nationals winners fit my program. I can't
Yeah.
use them, so I I have to look elsewhere. But um, golly, I just had a brain aneurysm. Uh, what were we talking about before the?
Well, the national winners breeding to them, like, so,
Right.
yeah,
Hybrid.
it would be nice to breed to a
Yeah, the
dog
hype,
like that. That's, yeah,
hype dogs and stuff like that. It's in every breed, right? The popular
Mhm.
sire syndrome is a common thing it's in horses, right? It's in dogs. It's
yeah,
just
Yeah.
um because the puppies are more marketable right off the bat. So
Yeah.
if I'm in it to sell, if I'm in it to sell puppies, to make that bag. If I'm just, I don't want to say this. If I'm breeding to sell puppies versus breeding to build a program,
there we go.
there's a different approach,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Yep. Very big
Um,
distinction. Hmm.
then if I'm just a breeder that I'm just looking to sell puppies, and I don't really want to go through and invest in infrastructure and have 15. And granted, look, not everybody can have 15, 20,
Yeah.
25 dogs that it takes to have a program,
Yeah.
right? Um, because if you have a program when you're breeding, you're always keeping a dog or two off of that next litter, right?
Right.
Always.
Yeah.
That's right.
And when you start keeping a dog or two off that next litter, off of every litter, boy, they start to add up.
Quick.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
not everybody's going to do that. And look, I will say to a certain extent, I mean that's okay, I guess. It's just a difference in approach.
Yeah.
But I feel like that strategy leads to um, less less thought in selection,
Hmm.
you know, less less
Yeah.
analysis,
Oh,
less
absolutely.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just, I'm just breeding and I'm going to sell all these puppies. And
Exactly. You're not
Yeah.
looking at the next breeding. It's
Mhm.
just
yeah,
this, move these puppies, do it again, instead of do this breeding for this fact.
Yeah,
And
rinse
I
and
have
repeat.
this lined up in my head. It might not, I might have to call an audible depending
Right.
on if the puppy, the outcome that I want, but you have a
yeah,
plan. You have a
yeah.
plan for what you're trying to do, a lineage you're starting, features you're trying to implement. But yeah, 100%.
Oh,
And
definitely.
from
Yeah.
day one, I set out to be a dog breeder, not
Exactly.
a um,
Puppy
not to
pellet.
s- not to sell puppies. You
Puppy
know.
Yeah.
pellet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Well, I
mean,
mean, you're
I
an advocate more than anything else, I think, and that's majorly important. Is that you advocate for the breed, but you just also happen to breed it. So
yeah.
it makes you kind of a crucial piece to the development of the breed and actually the continuation ultimately of the breed. So
Um, I I'm a little hesitant to say this, but I'll say it anyway. I got enough. I brought my bourbon bottle, so
your liquid courage.
yeah, I got my courage sitting here next to me. Um, the American Bully, in a lot of ways, is really just a commodity, uh, and I don't think that living animals that we're supposed to love that we should just turn them into commodities for um, I mean, they become in a broader sense a just
Cog in a clock.
thank you, Amanda. Thank you. Just I mean, it's not I'll tell you what, I know how much love I got, and people will say that about dogs in general. So don't get me wrong, because I know other breeds the same way, but
Yeah.
I've had other breeds though, right? And there's something about the American Bully that just struck me. It's different. It is different.
Mhm.
And I just remember what it gave me, and so it was profound, and I just wanted to share that with other people, right? But I also want to make sure that I give them the absolute best dog that I can afford to give them. Um, I really had to start uh, from the dirt because it's when you live on disability and you work a little bit of part time, there's not a whole lot of extra money there to just work with. And so you have to really dig it out of the dirt, and it takes you a little bit longer than it might other people. If I was making the kind of money that I used to make in my career before I became disabled, I would have been much farther along than what I am right now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can't make those moves. I can't so it's slower. And then I hit a hiccup early on, and my first breeding was turned it didn't work out, and so it cost me another year. And so things didn't just jive right away, so it
Right.
took me a little bit longer, right? And I know I've told you guys that before, but for
Yeah.
maybe people that haven't watched or
Getting to know
heard of
you.
me before or that kind of thing. And so things didn't start real smooth for me. And so
Yeah.
and then the breedings that I've done have mostly been for dogs to create my foundation. This is the first year really that I really had dogs and will have dogs for sale.
Yeah.
We're doing, matter of fact, we're getting ready to do breedings number 3 and 4 this week, it looks like.
Nice. Very nice.
Oh yeah.
So, um, we have, we have Champion Janie, our grand champion John Wayne daughter, our big standard girl.
Dang.
Um, talking about breeding to dogs that are just completely off the radar. Um,
Nice.
she's going to Champion Gunstocks Jr., who is a Garfield son.
Huh.
Now, how many people even know who Garfield is?
Garfield
I
is
kind of feel
Grand
like I
Champion
need to see some.
Zeros. Zeros, isn't he in his pedigree?
Oh, he might be in his pedigree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who is Garfield? Explain to people who is Garfield.
Well, Blue Edge Garfield. So
Okay.
he is and was an extreme pocket champion back in the day, right? When I mean he wouldn't be considered extreme today, you know.
Yeah.
But he's just an old school dog, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I'm trying to think. Oh, now see, I knew this was going to happen, Caleb. So guess what? My book.
That's what I'm talking about.
He's like, ah, screw it.
A wise
We're like
man.
in Bruce.
Well, it's not that you guys know I can't remember because of
Yeah.
the stuff that's happened to me. So
Yes.
and the drugs that I take. So I can't. So yeah. So let's see. Okay.
Disclaimer: all of his drugs that he takes are prescribed. They
Yeah,
are
legal. They are
prescription.
Yes.
all legal.
Yes.
As far as
Yes.
I know, Jerry. As far as I know.
They are
Uh-huh.
they are prescription, my friend.
Just like the
But
green
they
tea he's sipping.
oh shoot, fellas. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So Garfield goes back to Blue Edge 714 Pits Showtime, who then goes back to Samurai Paco.
Oh,
Okay.
that's old.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
old.
Garfield so Junior is only three generations from Paco.
Ooh, man.
And but and so this dog Junior is line bred to Garfield. His mom is also has Garfield. There's also Garfield on his mom's side, and then G2, Goliath, Cali
Mm-hmm.
Kingpin, Goliath,
Yeah.
old blood,
Yeah.
and then so Buster is I can't remember 29 or 30 or 31 times Excalibur. Now we're really getting back Dominion's Excalibur, right? I mean, so Excalibur and then Omen, and which was Blue Force, you know,
Yep.
um, and so old. I say old stuff, right? But
It is.
so, let-
Yep.
but let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit something about Junior. And so Janie has 14 crosses to Dax, but she has a lot of old school blood in her. She goes back. Janie goes, she's John Wayne, who's a Waffle House son.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then she also, on her mom's side, she goes back to uh, Lacima's Drunk on Moonshine, Grand Champion Lacima's Drunk on Moonshine, which goes back to Razor's Edge blood, which goes back to the Bow Wow stuff.
Ah.
Little Rizzy blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Huh.
But
Okay.
then she also goes back to Demon Boy and stuff like that. So and with John Wayne, you got Shamrock in there too, right? So
Yeah.
she's got 14 crosses to Dax, and so I'm like, okay, that's enough.
You're like, I can have
Yeah.
like one implementation of Dax, and I think that's
I'm like, that's enough. So, but Junior's 17 inches tall. He weighs 95 pounds.
Yeah.
26-inch head. He's an ABKC champion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you guys know how beautifully Hangman moves, right? Nationals with a
Yeah.
Hangman.
Yeah.
And I've shown the video before of Junior, but Junior moves every bit as smoothly as Hangman does. You could set a glass of champagne on that dog's back and you'd never spill a drop when you got him running across the yard. His top line never moves. It never bounces.
Jerry's done it, by the way.
Do
Jerry has done
what?
that. I said Jerry has
That's
done
that
that, by the
theory.
way.
Oh yeah, I put the champagne on. So for me, when I saw the dog, and this is a breeding that I've been planning for
Yeah.
2 years, right?
Mhm.
And it's finally here, but it was all based. And here's the other thing. So not only is he 100% old school dog, he's also a blue brindle.
Nice.
That's
So there's nothing popular about him, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always loved me a blue brindle.
I do
Well, I
too,
But
mean,
honestly.
just like you said, though, it is something that a lot of people they you just don't see as much anymore because the popularity has shifted towards tries and
It
merles and whatnot. So it is definitely a unsung hero. But
it
though
doesn't attract the modern day eye.
right, but
there
I
you
feel
go.
like brindle really a lot of brindles carry a lot of stuff. They carry a lot of different colors and patterns. That's you're sitting there thinking like it's kind of almost behooves you a little bit to breed to a brindle, but
And Janie is a lilac tri.
mm-mm.
Janie is Janie is 18 inches tall and 91 pounds.
Big
Mm.
girl. She big girl.
And she's my girl. She's 2 wins from Grand ABKC Grand Champion, right? But we just
Nice.
haven't. So she's a beautiful dog. But I'm just like I wanted that. I wanted that movement, and I have two sides of my program. I got the big dogs, the standards, right, and then I got my pockets.
Yeah.
But I wanted that. I wanted that structure and that movement. And Janie is really cool. John Wayne, he clean as a
Uh,
whistle. Beautiful dog, right?
Cleanest feet I've ever seen.
My favorite. Yeah, one of my
Ever.
favorites. Hmm.
And she's the same way, right? But I wanted that. I wanted that movement. If I could get that movement, right?
Yeah.
That was. I mean, he's got a big head. Okay, that's great. I mean, he's not super wide or anything like that, but he's 100% old school, and his movement is perfection. And that was the only
Yeah.
thing that really. And the way his butt is, I could build off that because I have a lot of that in Buster still. There's things I could do with it, but I wanted the movement. I wanted the wholeness of the dog.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know, I wanted an American Bully I could throw in Westminster. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, and
Yeah.
impress the masses when they're like, "Dang, that thing moves!" Yeah, yeah, because
Exactly.
you want a little bit of elegance. I'm a little bit biased about it. Like when there are some dogs that when you watch them go around the ring, you're like,
Yeah.
"Damn, this is just so smooth
Give
and
it,
elegant AF." It's just like that a dog this size should not be able to move like that. But I'll be damned, there it is. Like
give
Hmm.
everybody
me
wants
the,
to see that.
give
Everybody
me the
wants to see that.
classic dog that is elegant, moving around the show ring all day long. I'll take it. You know.
Right? Oh yeah,
It's just poetry and
absolutely.
poetry in motion. I mean,
Mhm.
it's fabulous. And so anyway, it's a breeding that, man, I hesitate to say, but not many people think about, and
Yeah.
but I tell you what I did was I didn't mention his name, I didn't mention his bloodlines or anything like that, and I posted a couple of videos of the dog. And the amount of messages of who is that I
Yeah.
got were off the charts, you know.
Right.
And I'm like, you'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna learn tomorrow.
You'll find out eventually. And that's the thing about doing, not following everybody and doing your own research, right? And finding your own
Yep.
dogs, right? Finding that fits your program, that fits
Exactly.
you your eye towards. Again, we're working towards the standard, but there's a lot of different ways to get there. I mean,
Yeah.
when I say a different ways, there's a lot of dogs that you can get there with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. Again, it's about progress, not necessarily perfection, because as we've all established, there's
Yeah.
no perfect dog. But as long
Yeah.
as you're making progress towards trying to make that perfect dog, then that in and of itself, I think it speaks volumes to like your program and like where your head's at. And you've got some really good breeders out there that are trying to head in that general direction. Like they are breeding for longevity. They are breeding for, health and movement and temperament. And, hail to them. Like, cause man, that's definitely something that we definitely need. And while there are breeding tools out there, like some of these more extreme dogs, let them kind of stay in that genre. I guess it's the best I can dance around saying it that way. But I mean, let them kind of just be breeding tools. It's okay that they're breeding tools. You don't have to bring them in the ring.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Amanda. I was thinking that. It's like,
there's no way of dancing around it.
there is no way of dancing around that. And I will say that there are things, if you read the standard, and I feel like if the judges would have stuck to evaluating dogs based on the standard, we wouldn't really be in the situation that we're in right now, where so many of the dogs look like bulldogs with cropped ears. They would still look like American bullies.
Now, I will say I feel very, very hopeful, and there's been in the comment threads, there's been mentions of like, oh, well, I wish, more judges would withhold, or I will say that in the ABKC alone, and this is just the ABKC, I have been to 2 different shows, and I know that and because of who's the judges that have done that, they judge other shows in different regions that I have not been able to attend. So I know it's not just these 2 shows. I've literally personally witnessed 2 different judges withhold. And it was one of those things where from a perspective of ours, we were sitting there thinking like, okay, no, good. Because if you didn't see dogs, that exhibited the breed standard, then you shouldn't reward. But at the same time, also on the back end, are you creating a lack of competition for the next class? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There was a situation where it created zero competition, where there was a dog that was in the ring that could have gotten points and didn't, but they couldn't because there was no comp, because the last one got withheld. So it sucks, it kind of in that degree, obviously, but I've personally witnessed people withholding ribbons, and the idea behind it, I'm here for it. I'm with it. Does it suck on the aftermath for some other individuals? Yeah, a little bit on the back end, but damn, I mean, I like the idea that they are enforcing the notion of stop bringing me subpar dogs. Bring me better dogs, or I'm not going to reward the best of the worst.
I like that too. Hey, and look, the thing is about that, if you got 3, just say 3 dogs in the ring, or 2 dogs in the ring, or whatever, right? So if you withhold that first ribbon and just give them second and third place, that ought to make them think, why I should keep wasting my time and show this dog if my dog can't get a first place ribbon, if it's a first weight, you know what I'm saying? If they if they holding the ribbon, why should I keep showing this dog?
Yeah. Yeah, and I will say that, and I think it was Lois a second ago. She mentioned a specific judge, and I think this is actually at this show. Withheld a ribbon, and he is there's no mystery. He does not leave it as a mystery as to why. He will tell you flat out. There are certain judges that whether or not they withhold, they will not let you leave the ring until they tell you why you placed the way that you did.
Exactly.
Even if you got in first place, they're still going to be like, listen, love the dog, I love this aspect, strong this, but weak this, I'd like to see more of this. Try working on that. Like, even if you win first place, there are still judges that are going to not let you leave the ring without some sort of feedback. And again, the ones that withhold, I love the fact that they are not afraid to tell you why they did it.
Yeah.
No, and I think that if a judge is withholding and everything, I mean, I definitely think that they should explain why they did for sure.
There should be an
Yeah.
explanation behind it. And then us
Right.
as breeders need to understand the difference. And people are saying that in the comments between breeding stock, show stock, and tools. Like they're all a part of a program, but you don't bring breeding stock or necessary
Tools.
tool
Sure.
Yeah,
to
breeds.
yes, you got to understand
Absolutely.
what you're breeding,
Yeah.
what you're bringing to
Well,
the show.
and to that point, Caleb, is that, you know, and we've said it again, you know, multiple times, that literally the whole point of a dog show, and this is every registry, every dog show, period, full stop. The whole point is to essentially showcase breeding stock, not brood stock. There's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah,
Uh, but breeding stock, to be like, this is the standard to which you should be breeding. So it's literally telling every owner of that breed, this dog right here, this shit here, this is what you need to breed to.
exactly.
And so if you're not bringing out dogs that you feel everybody really needs to be breeding to, then you're kind of doing the breed as a whole a disservice.
And you're putting
So
the judge in a bad place
really
to make
hard.
that
Yeah, sure
decision.
is.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
it is.
know, and it because it's a double-edged sword, like we were talking
Mhm.
about. It does take a lot for someone to do that. Because Bruce, you know, to your argument or your point, yeah, it is tough because you don't want to sit there and continue to give second place, and then because no one leaves happy. One person
Right.
leaves happy in every ring, and that's the person with first place.
Yeah.
So
Right.
if you don't give that, no one leaves happy. So you got
Right.
to be able to understand that, but you got to keep the integrity of the dogs and your in who you're working for, the registry that you're working for, and the breed standard, and first and foremost. But yeah, it is tough. So the ones that do withhold, they should come with an explanation on exactly why, so it doesn't discourage people. It should motivate people. Let me bring something back into this ring with this judge because
Mhm.
I know they're going to grade me tough, but fairly to the standard, and they're going to explain why. If you
Right.
get a fair explanation on why your dog did not get first and withheld first, you can't leave mad. I mean, it might be a
Yeah.
gut punch, but you can't leave mad.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that's a it's gonna be a punch below the belt because I can see, you know, and I mean, some people you can't, man, I can't explain, but it's just some people you can't satisfy. You know what I'm saying? They think they
Exactly. So
got the
why
best, they
try?
got the best dog, they think they got the best dog, which they are kennel, but I ain't gonna say kennel blind,
Yeah,
but they just don't see everything about, you know what
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
one
saying?
hundred percent,
There's
one hundred
biases
percent.
involved. Absolutely. And the thing is we've actually spoken to multiple judges over
Hmm.
the years, and they all have a very, very similar like sentiment where there's a lot of pressure, and the pressure comes from the handlers, because
Yeah.
if they don't get the first place, they think it's because you misjudged, not because their dog wasn't the best dog in the ring. It was because they were misjudged. And
Yeah,
so there's when you literally you walk into it with that mindset that if they'd be crazy not to pick me, as opposed to being like, be the best, bring the best, and then if it works itself out, it does. Because these judges are all seeing the same dogs over and over and over again during any single event, and it's just it's hard on the judges because they've watched you either bring a subpar dog in several times or just not perform well several times, and then get mad when they give somebody else the first place. Like, so
Mhm.
it's hard. There's a lot of pressure being a judge. It's very, very difficult, and they all, yeah, it's because it's very handler driven.
Well, at the end of the day, right, withholding is in a lot of ways is bad for business. On the surface, right, it's bad for business.
Hear me?
We live in a day and age of participation trophies. We're worried
absolutely.
about if judges withhold, will people keep coming to shows?
Exactly. Attendance is super.
And then then you get into the well, you know, it's hard enough to find people that want to host and put on shows, and if you get judges and withhold, they're worried about things kind of, you know, getting smaller, right? But
Yeah.
at the same time, um, what's it really supposed to be about? I mean,
Hmm.
breeding good dogs is hard,
Hmm.
and it's and so it requires a lot of a lot of thought and a lot of effort and a lot of trial and error in these kinds of things, and it's not easy. And so, yeah, not just anybody can, and I hate to say it, you would think, but not just anybody can do it because not everybody has the discipline, the patience, or the eye for it. They
Yeah.
just don't, right? And some of it, um, somebody made a comment I was looking at tonight on Facebook about um, they were kind of denigrating the science part of breeding dogs and saying it was just more about luck, right? At the end of the day, it's just
Mhm.
really about luck, right? And I'm more like, well, it's about science. There's an element of science, there's an element of art, and then there's an element of luck. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
It's
and
finger
the
weird,
luck
man.
and
Finger
and,
weird.
and the luck part of it comes down to the sheer application of the science and the art,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and but if you utilize the science and the art, the visual, again, because Amanda, not everybody has an eye for a dog. It's
Mhm.
just like not every when I learned, and or let's say art appreciation. There are actually classes on that. At university level classes and things. I took one, right. Not I didn't really know anything about art, but I was able to learn and appreciate, and evaluate pieces of art. But not everybody can learn that, right? And so it's the same thing in that, can you learn the artistic parts of looking at a dog, the form and how it functions and flows and the balance and those things. But then can you also learn the science part of things? And then can you put those two things together? And then once you've taken those two variables and you've put them together in that piece, then yes, there's an element of luck. I mean, when you start talking about the science of
Yeah.
the DNA, right?
I feel like you
Yeah.
need less luck to come into play when you are very, very, you know, strategic with how you pair. You
Yeah.
do a lot of research. You do all the testing that you feel is necessary for that specific pairing. Like you are looking at genotype, phenotype. You're looking at everything, and it's just like you start eliminating the need for luck to be a factor. Luck is great when like literally you're just like, I like the way that dog looks. I like the way that dog looks. Let's do this. Or I love the way my
Mhm.
dog looks, and that's a grand champion. I want to tailcoat off that name, and then luck would have to be a factor at that point. It'd have to be. It'd have to be.
Yeah.
But if you're being really really diligent about researching and taking all the necessary steps to obviously scientifically come to the most you know viable pairing, then yeah, luck is less of a necessity. Like
Yeah. I just consider that luck just that variable out there that is a result of my planning and everything, right? I mean, not
yeah,
not everything's not, the more I plan and everything, and the more I do my research and the more I do everything, the less I have to rely on luck,
luck. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
quote unquote luck. But now there's still some of that in there, no doubt, because during cellular mitosis and everything else in the recombinant process of
Genetics
DNA
huge.
and everything, we don't know how the A's and the C's and the T's and the G's, we don't know how they're going to
Yeah.
recombine, right? And so yes, there's some luck there, okay?
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if we've done all those other things, that luck part gets much, much smaller.
Yeah,
But
Absolutely.
mhm. Damn.
but
Hey,
anyway,
I
to
like how
get
you broke
back
that
to
down.
yeah, well, thank you so much. So I have two breedings that looks like it's going to go down this week, and that is our little girl Bella. She's 13 and a quarter inches tall,
Okay.
and she's our little Mighty Mouse. She's a lot like her mama was, and this will be probably the one and only time that I ever do a uh, quote unquote extreme breeding. Um, but she is kind of herself a little bit that way. She is a folking Sriracha daughter who is so
Wow.
she's a Grim granddaughter. So her dad was inbred Rocco,
Yeah.
and that was a breeding I did a couple of years ago, and just kind of play a little bit on that side of the world, right? And um, I it was a split litter with uh,
Corey and Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
thank you, Corey and Vicky.
What's up? We're gonna come to
Thanks for the help there, Kayla. And I mean, I'm really happy. I was really happy with the three dogs, that I picked. From the we had seven pups, and but I'm like, she makes sense to kind of go that direction a little bit, but so we're gonna give it a shot. I So he's a relatively new dog. The dog is here in Oklahoma. His name is VS Titanic. Buddy of mine owns him, but he's 14 and a half inches tall and 92 pounds.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
But when you look at his structure,
Mm-hmm.
you look at his lines, his balance, his movement, and everything, it's awful good.
Wow.
And
For 14 inches, 92 pounds.
well, 14.
That's a Oh yeah, that's a
That
tank.
boy
That's a
tough.
little
Yeah.
tank.
Essentially,
Yeah,
yeah. How's the body length, torso length?
really good. And he's got, like I said, he's got really good structure.
Yeah. 'Cause every
Wow.
once in a while, when you have those kind of
Bella's,
height and weight, you're sitting there thinking that must be a long dog.
Exactly. No.
he's not a long dog. I was seeing that's the thing. See, I wouldn't breed to a long dog. I don't have any long dogs on my yard.
That's what's up.
And so, Bella, she's 13 and a quarter inches and 60 pounds.
Yeah.
Now of course, she's not fully mature, but, so she's that, she's that little, almost kind of a double muscle gene, little muscled up ball of, just ball of muscle,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm not doing the breeding for anything to put in the show ring.
There's a
See,
plan for it. There's a plan
it's
for
the
it, and that's what I
it's
like
the
about it.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Exactly.
it's the next generation that I'm
Yes.
After
that
that,
I'm focused on, not really this one. You know what I mean?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now there will be some people I know that are. I mean, I already have people that are interested in the litter, and that's awesome, right? They're interested in puppies already, and I hope everything goes well, and she gets pregnant, and everything goes great, right?
Yeah.
But for me, for my purposes, when I did that breeding 2 years ago and decided to play in that little part of the world, there was a reason why I wanted to play in that little bit of part of the world, but there's a there's a way that I want to mess with it, right? And so it's that it's that follow
Yeah.
on generation that I'm doing it for, and so
Yeah.
we'll see how it works out. I mean, but it um probably will be the only time I ever do it. So I'll do it once, and we'll see how it turns
Nice.
out.
Yeah. I mean,
But
you're breeding for like you're playing a long game, and that's something that's some people just don't have the patience to do. So man, I commend you for that.
well, yeah, and at my age, playing the long game, that's something that's just even more risky.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
You killed
I
it.
have ha- I
That's
have had
funny.
I've had a rough year this year.
Yeah.
Had some concerns over my heart and things like that. It turns out
Oh wow.
it's not my heart, and yeah, I've
Good.
not been 60's not been good to me so far this year, but
Ooh,
we're trying to, we're trying to get back, and feel better and that kind of thing. But this year's just been about breeding. Haven't really been to any shows other than the one I emceed back in April.
mm-hmm.
For that because I couldn't afford to show and breed, both at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happens.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, well, I'll breed this year, and then next year I'll show what I produced, right?
There you
Right.
Yeah.
go.
I like that.
Hopefully, I can get to the point where then, during the course of a year, I can do a little bit of both, but, right now I'm still, still footing most of the bill, so, but it's finally, hey, look, I sold some puppies. I was able to, you know, what I made from those puppies is allowing me to put into the breedings that I got coming up, and then
Yeah.
No,
Right.
put it
keep
right
just
back in the program.
reinvesting,
Yeah.
so,
Oh yeah.
but so so it's been but it's been a pretty good year really in that what we've produced so far. You know, this is only Buster's third litter, so he's been very. I think he's been very underutilized, but
I
I've turned
agree.
down breeding. I've turned down breedings.
We're picky with the females, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I've turned down some because I require females. I mean, might as well tell everybody, right? I require females to be embark or some kind of genetic test, and they have to have better rear ends than Buster does.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no point in breeding him to a dog that doesn't
Right.
have a good rear end.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, she can be lacking
I
in
like
almost
that.
every other department, but not the rear end, right?
Nope. And I like that that's where you hold it. And a lot of it is because again, that you don't want to cause more problems than you do solutions. And so yeah, no, man, again, a lot of respect for you being as picky with those females as you were being.
Yeah, I mean, how does that help the breed if I just do that? I mean, yeah, I get the money, but at the end of the day, how do I really help the breed better,
I like
Right.
that. I respect that.
So, and I could really use the money.
We could all use the money, but sometimes
Yeah,
it's damn integrity. Damn.
right, right. Damn integrity. But
This is so counterproductive to my wallet.
oh, you're awful quiet.
Oh, I'm just listening. I'm here.
Oh, he's nerding out. He loves this.
Is he nerding out?
He's nerding out. He's nerding out. He's enjoying it.
I know he likes it. I know he likes them old school dogs.
Oh yeah. You know it.
For
Well,
sure.
I tell you, I am. I'm stubborn, guys. I really, one of my big things is I got into this, and I wish I would have. I really like the way Michael Higginson did things. He really, before he ever got any dogs or anything like that, he really, he went to things and he researched and he figured out exactly what he wanted to do before he did it. And I did not do that because I can be very emotional and impulsive despite my analytical tendencies. And especially when it comes,
We love that you know
especially
that about yourself.
when it comes to animals, And
Yeah.
but once I figured out, what I wanted to do, it was really it was really the old school dogs for me. But I reckon my absolute favorite dogs was when Razor's Edge and West Coast Gotti came together.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Those dogs right there. But that was like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Things have changed a bit.
Okay. Yeah, they've changed a whole lot. But my love for what I see, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So my challenge is what I wanted to do this whole time is prove that still a dog that is, say, 80% old school, 80, 90% old school dog, and 10% modern, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just a very high percentage old school dog can still compete in that show ring with
Right.
the
Can still
most
hold their
the,
own.
mo- the mostly bulldog dogs,
Mhm.
right?
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, and the thing is I mean, we know you have good taste. You use John Wayne, and he's he's got that build that like you have. I mean, you have to look back to see it. You know what I mean? Even Bistro's the same way. Bistro, like you, that's older blood that you're looking at. It's like, okay, that's that's what I remember when I first got in was that's what the American Bully was, and that's where my tastes lie. And I think yours is kind of similar in that regard. So trying to keep it in that general vicinity because you also know the benefits of keeping it there, health wise. It's difficult. It's difficult to kind of to see all these other dogs coming in that are kind of not quite where it should be. But I mean, what are you going to do at that point? We're still young. We're still a young breed. There are going to be fads that come and go, and we're just going to have to kind of hope that eventually the fads see themselves out.
Well, you and I are a lot alike there. See, I have a lot of bistro in my program too.
Hmm.
So, Buster's mom's side is line bred to Bus, right? Which
Hmm.
is bistro, and then I'm trying to think his Buster's dad's mom's side goes back to the Bus as well on one line, and then so I have so, but that's kind of my so that's kind of my focus is really is with um the Blue Force blood and the Bistro blood with a little bit of Dax in there, and I say a little bit of Dax because Buster has four crosses to Dax. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's funny about that is when you deal with the guys like the group from No Coast Bully Blessed that I own, that Juan that I co-own that female with, right? But they're all old
Hmm.
school breeders, right? And even though Buster only has four crosses to Dax, I mean he's disqualified. So
If he was just at least one or two less dags, I'd be
so Juan was like, look, he's like, it's I want you to know it's nothing against Buster. Say I really like Buster,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to keep any of these dogs from this litter, right? And
"Ah."
I'm like, I'm not offended, man. I know what you guys, I know
Yeah.
what you're about. I'm not offended. I don't, I know you like Buster. It's it's just a thing, and that's fine. There are people that are gonna want those puppies, and that either don't mind that there's four crosses to Dax in out of 2,000 dogs, or that or they're just going to be great pets and it's no big deal, right?
Right.
But it's funny, not funny. I mean, I definitely get that when
It's
you're dealing with there's a group on Facebook that's Razor's Edge, and you when you post your dog, you have to post the pedigree as well and
Wow.
everything,
Yeah.
and they're
yeah.
serious, right? No, no, only Razor's Edge dogs,
Right.
not even gaudy stuff, only Razor's Edge stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that at that point, it's just like, I mean, there are so many, I would say when it comes to XLs, almost all of them can trace back to at least one, or two, razor's edge dogs or even Gaudy, but it's really hard nowadays to find a dog that is that heavy razor's edge.
Yeah.
That's
It is.
got to be difficult. So that group's got to be small.
Yeah.
Well, in most of your XL, I mean, in most of that either like Juan Gotti or Red Lion type blood.
Mm. Yeah.
A lot.
I'm asking. I'm asking.
Oh,
Is it?
100%. A lot of it goes back to that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so like my XL, he's literally every single one of his branches, so to speak, all lead back to Razor's Edge or Gotti,
Yeah.
and that's just how he's built. But it was generations ago, so
Yeah.
you have to really look back to find it, but it all goes back to that, all of it. There's no weird gaps of anything, but it's just one of those things where it's to find something where all that Razor's Edge is up front.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know
Razor's
about
Edge.
See,
I mean,
there are just there needs to be more.
Mhm.
So another thing that I see is there's really very few people that I see when I see breeding banners and things like that that are that are that are truly doing outcrosses, right?
Mhm.
Um, and again, I feel like that's a role that the old dogs can really play, is bringing them back to the front as an outcross, right? Add,
100%.
gen- add
It's
genetic
needed.
diversity, and then go back to your line breeding in the next generation.
Sure.
Yeah.
But freshen your stock up, freshen your genetics up a little bit, right?
Take
yep,
it back
that's
to
And
right.
then and then go back to doing what you were
Mhm.
doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a saying that's just like, and sometimes in order to go forward, you have to go back. And so like that in and of itself, I mean, you have to kind of hit the origin a little bit, I wholeheartedly agree because those dogs have a tendency to have, better health, the longevity. If you're trying to get a little bit more motivation, a little bit more active, drive, you're going to have to go back. Because the dogs now, it's just, if they have drive, it's merely like toy drive. It's not going to be, the kind of
Yeah.
drive that keeps them like fully active. So it's like, yeah, I mean, taking it back isn't a bad thing. I hope nobody has that stigma, that hang up.
Yeah. Most of the drive today is not spring pole drive. It's like I said, maybe two-wheel drive.
Man, it's food drive. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, give me that
Food
kibble.
drive.
Oh
Let's do
God.
it. Let's do a food drive.
Man. All they want to do is eat and sleep and maybe play a little bit before they get winded and they're done. And it's like, no, man, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, um, with the and there was something else, where I saw, somebody was talking about an outcross, and I mentioned that they're. Oh, I know what it was. It's like how can you do how can you do it how can you do an outcross when every dog goes back to Dax? Well, first of all, not every dog goes back to Dax. Maybe
So don't.
maybe every dog that they're looking at in the clique that they run in or something maybe goes
Yeah,
back to.
I'm
that's
pretty sure
right.
What
neither of my dogs go back to Dax. I think.
what was that, Amanda?
I know my XL has absolutely no Dax whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
He dodged that like the Matrix. But I'm trying to think. I'll have to think if Helios does because I know he has a splash of Miyagi like 6 generations back on one side. It was did Miyagi have Dax? I'm trying to remember how far back I want to go.
Did Miyagi what?
Have Dax?
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't even know if my pocket has any Dax in them either. Rare.
Yeah.
So my comment on that is there is and this gets back to not using enough science and analytical tools to make breeding decisions, and not slicing and dicing things down to the minutia, right? Is that
Yeah.
you can, if you have a heavy DAX dog, right? And let's just say you could still breed to a dog that has a little bit of Dax in it, but depending on what the rest of the pedigree is, depending on what the rest of the blood is, and depending on what the resultant inbreeding coefficient is, that could still be a very functional outcross for you. but so many people don't know how, don't know, and it's like there's a lot of dogs that could be utilized if you understood the tools, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Buster's a big outcross for a lot of dogs, but I mean, he still has four crosses to Dax, but he's mostly old school. He's a great outcross for dogs, but he's just, I don't know, nobody really wants to use him because he's mostly an old school blood dog.
That is
So,
that, and that'll be on them on the long run. They'll
Yeah.
yeah. It's
and look, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm not offended. I really don't care if
Yeah.
anybody ever uses him. I get to use him,
right.
Yeah.
and so I'm okay with that. I just use him as an example because it's easy because he got a little bit of Dax, but
Right.
very, very little, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so
Not enough
he's
to
fine.
use it to market.
Yeah, yeah, but you can. I just sometimes I wish um, I could really help more people, you know, and I do try. I try, but you know, I wonder sometimes just how much of our community is really engaged in the acquisition of
No.
knowledge when it comes to breeding. You know, are they? And you don't have to. You don't have to be an educated man like myself. You don't have to be real good with science books or these kinds of things. I have learned so much from when I first got in it, right? I mean, I've learned so much from just getting on YouTube and listening to people. I've learned a lot of stuff from listening to Raul on QBN. I've
Yep.
learned a lot of stuff from tuning in to your guests. I've learned just so many different
Yeah.
ways to learn, right? It's just how much effort's being made to get better at your craft, right? If you're, you know,
100%.
Yeah. It's and the thing is that I do like the fact. Are you still doing COI service?
yeah, I do.
There we go.
I've heard, hey, but you know what? I don't even think I've done 5 all year.
Mm.
Oh.
Wow.
Huh. Well, hopefully that'll change because I mean the thing is
Well, it's okay. I'm busy, so it's okay that I haven't. But the bad thing is that I've only done about 5. I
Yeah.
mean, the first couple of years I stayed pretty busy. I mean, I did quite a bit, here and there, and then
yeah.
now this year nothing. You know.
Dang.
So I got to thinking, well, shoot, maybe everybody caught on, but it's obvious to me when I see all the pedigree banners now.
Well, you should have looked at that a little harder.
Oh,
Well, no, and that's and I mean I know that you talk about wanting to help more people, and I think that was one of the avenues that you used to do that was providing that service because it is a flashlight in the dark just as much as Embark is. I mean, because as we said earlier, it's just like if you do the research and you do the work, luck plays less of a factor in how your breedings turn out. You don't require luck as much as anybody else would. Just be hoping and praying that pairing works out because they just like the 2 dogs that they were staring at.
Well, this breeding with Bella, okay, it's 12 times Rocco, 8 times Grim, and an inbreeding coefficient of only 12%.
wow.
Dang,
Mm.
interesting.
Most of the time when I see 12 times Rocco, 8 times Graham, I'm looking at an inbreeding coefficient of 30 or 40%.
Right. It's up there. But yeah, that's okay.
So, but if you didn't know how to do that and why it's important and why it isn't, right, then you wouldn't know whether to breed to the dog that I'm breeding to, whether to go do something else, right?
Right.
And the reason reason why that's so important is I can I can take advantage of the commonality or the genes that are typically what we call inherited by descent, right?
Mhm.
By having all those genes in there, but by having a low enough inbreeding coefficient that I still hedge my bets on things being healthy and
Yeah.
not having inbreeding depression and all the ugly things that
Right.
go with
The corner.
going too far, right? And so um, I wish I could I wish I could help more people with those kinds of things. But you know, I do what I can on my end, and I can't, you
Right.
can't you can't make them come to you, right?
No,
But
absolutely. And again, I mean, you've been super busy lately, and you don't really show any signs of slowing down within the next several months. So, but with those next several months in mind, switching gears a little bit, are you planning on coming to ABQC Nationals this year?
no,
Oh,
no,
bummer. Yeah, Savannah's a little bit far for you because you're Oklahoma, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah.
Northwest, not really that far from Colorado.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder
And
because
it's not even so much that really for me, Amanda. And I'm not ashamed to say it or anything. It's more of a function of finances than it is anything, you know.
expensive. This is
Yeah.
great
Well,
for
and I have to choose between. A lot of times, I have to choose between, putting man, I'd love to come to nationals. I enjoyed it last year when I came, and hey, I got to meet you, and
Yeah.
that was awesome, and I got to, see all the goings ons and everything, and but
You
you
got it.
know, I gotta put my what available dollars I have directly into my dogs and my program instead of taking a trip that's you know probably cost me $1,500,
Not
for
breaking
Yeah.
a sweat. No, absolutely. Yeah. And it's definitely it definitely gets a little pricey, even if you're not showing dogs. You're still spending a good amount of money just to even go in
yeah,
and sit
yeah,
there.
for sure.
So it's I hear you. And then there's several people that we all know as well that like there might be like planned breedings and whelping that might get in the way. Like they're not 100% sure yet, and it's. I mean, it's definitely cost the dice, really.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the hardest thing for me this year has not been going to any shows. It's killing me. I want to be out there,
Yeah.
and my wife and I talked about we have the ABKC show coming up in Shawnee, which is
Yes.
it's here in Oklahoma, but it's still a 3 hour drive for us. That's how far northwest we are of Oklahoma
Yeah.
Yeah.
City.
Up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And um and it's like okay, so if we go, what are we going to do? And but see, I just really want to take the puppies. They can't get any points or anything, but I want to get them out there and I want to get them some exposure, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
So I think probably, yeah, I think we'll probably go, we'll get a booth and, we'll, show each dog maybe in one show just to kind of get them out there. Because normally when I go to a show, I take 4 dogs and we enter 4 dogs in every show. So I'm spending $400 just on entry fees, plus the
Uh-huh.
booth,
Yeah.
plus travel, plus, you know what I mean? And um, so we're gonna go, but more than anything, just and then I have a 17-month-old male that we showed. I ended up showing him at the WBA show in April that I was emceeing because he tried to bite the first judge, and my wife was like, "I don't think I need to be doing this," and because he's kind of my dog, right? And so
Yeah.
so I ended up showing him the other shows, but he still, he wouldn't let Marco Suarez check his testicular area, right? And and I told Marco before we went in there, I said, now he's tried to bite everybody else, so I want you to, I'm just letting you know ahead of time, right? Because when I
Dang.
wasn't when I wasn't showing him, I was emceeing, so I was over there with Marco, and I'm just like giving him a heads up, right? And so I'm going to take him probably, and I'm going to have people that I know try to work him over, try to get him past that, right, and everything. And this is the dog, and the reason why he hasn't been shown is because his phenotype has been as such that it would have done him no good to show early on,
Yep.
Yeah.
right?
It
But
takes.
Let it mature.
Mhm.
I knew the way that where he kind of came from, that by the time he was probably 2 years old, he was going to be quite a dog. And he
Yeah.
has continued to mature. The head's gotten better. There's no point in really showing a dog in, so I could show him in WBA because he fits that a lot better, right? He fits a more old school type more than he does an ABKC type. So when
Right.
I
Yeah.
show him ABKC, he'll be in the classic class.
Ah, okay,
Okay?
gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
still in the classic class, the head's still got to be the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've had to kind of wait on him and wait for him to mature before I could really show him the ABKC. And so every month that goes by, he just keeps getting better and better, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's the thing. I will, if I think a dog is good enough, I will put 2 years into a dog just to wait and
Yeah,
wait for him because there's no point in showing a dog before it's ready.
absolutely. Yeah, it's. I mean, other than like just to get your experience and their experience, yeah. But for the most part, yeah. Outside of that, it's basically you're really just kind of putting money into charity. Thank you for your
Yeah,
donation.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So I'm gonna see if I can bribe a few people to get them to stick their hands in his mouth.
well, and that like so some folks know this and some don't, but like when I was getting Adonis ready, like that was obviously a really uh, I mean, absolute pun intended, touchy subject for him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh,
sure.
and so like it took like Corey and Vicky, like they would literally randomly while I was just walking him around, the facility, they would randomly walk up and ask me to stack him, and then they'd do a full inspection, and he just got so used to any time that I would stop him being stacked and then inspected, like to the point where he just stopped sitting on judges. So but it took that. It literally took people just randomly inspecting him every time he stopped moving. Like, so it's definitely something to be said about that. I think you're on the right path.
Well, no matter how many times you do it, because I did it all the time when I was training him, right? No matter how many times you do it, until somebody else does it,
Has to be somebody else.
it's not a thing, right?
Absolutely.
But then, so we're working on that. So I think I'll take him, and. But I've missed showing this year. I really have. I miss seeing and talking to the people, and
Oh yeah,
you know,
it's one of those things that like you get the first show you go to, you get addicted, and then after that it's just like when you start going to less shows for whatever the reason is, whether
yeah,
it's the breeding program, just like your reading patterns, things like that just don't line up right, or jobs change, whatever the case may be. Like when you haven't gone to a show for a long time, you feel it. Like
yeah.
you really truly feel it. So
Well, and I can't wait to have a dog that where I know that dog's good enough that I can come to Orlando or go to Pennsylvania or get out there into y'all's part of the country. Know that I have a dog that's good enough to compete. and then that justifies me traveling that far, for that show to, you know, and I know that day's coming. I don't know how far off it is, but we're getting there, and they are incremental steps, but I'm not trying to change everything at once, all, overnight, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
we're, I can see it. We're getting there.
Oh no, definitely, and I definitely would love to see you have more shows, and because again, the dogs that you're creating are getting better and better. So obviously, this generation that's brand new right now, I cannot wait to see how they're going to turn out. This is going to be fun.
Well, I can tell you, Lance is very excited about this Junior and Janie breeding
Yeah, it should be. It's awesome.
because he gets a pup. He gets first pick, right? So, in
I
our co-owned deal, that was the bad deal I made. He gets first pick.
Oh yeah, but his he'll I mean that's gonna be a good pairing. So I'm excited for that.
I think so.
But man, I don't know what happened to Caleb. I think either his Walmart Wi-Fi got him, or
I think his phone probably died. I had charged my backpack. I mean, my
I
phone.
saw that. I saw
Well,
you get. I was like, is that a battery backup?
yeah, it was a battery bank. Yeah, it was about to
You know,
die.
Man, yeah, I have to. I got a couple of those for dog show so that I can charge my phone when I have to. Because
Yeah.
generally with me, we have another hour to go, but we're only 2 hours, so.
Oh.
oh yeah, oh yeah. But man, well, I'm thinking Caleb might not because there's been no attempts to come back on.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
probably
probably
he
don't.
either he died or his phone died. So,
I think his phone died though, for
But
real.
hopefully it's just his phone that died.
well, when I say him, I mean his energy level. I think his
No, yeah,
battery
yeah. Oh yeah.
his battery may have died.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that yeah, it's sometimes late nights can get a little harder, especially if you have a morning job. So
Oh,
once
hey,
once
I'm up at 5:30 every morning. I was up at 5 this morning because I had to go to Oklahoma City this morning, which is a 2 hour drive. That's the thing about doctors and kind of doctors I have to go
all in
to.
KC, yeah.
They're 2 hour drives in the weather, and so I had a CT scan on my back this morning at 9 o'clock, and then kidney ultrasounds at 11 o'clock this morning.
Mercy.
Mm.
Dang.
So I was up at 5 this morning.
Oh man. Now I think my job has me waking up between 4 and 4:15 every day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, we get up pretty early around here, so it's so I get it. Is there? I mean, I'm just so you guys know. I mean, I'm good. I don't really have anything else to plug or anything like that. Is there anything though that anybody's
I know,
asked,
right?
or anybody's asked or anything that we need to?
I know that we'd had questions mostly about like whether or not you were going to nationals. So you've lowered the boom on us on that. Someone had much earlier, so I feel sorry that I didn't ask this earlier. They were asking if you have any kind of remedy for seasonal allergies.
That was
I
way,
do.
way back.
I do actually. I do actually.
Hit us with that. What is that remedy, real quick?
Breed dogs that don't have allergies.
Oh shit! Well, damn.
That was quick.
When I said real quick, that's not what I had in mind, but I get it. No,
Yeah.
that's these double dilutes, man. These double dilutes, you can't. That's
Well, you know what though? I mean, and yeah, and no, I completely get it. It's allergies. Allergies can be tough, and I'm really grateful. I don't have those problems here. I don't have dogs with The only dog that I've got that's really got into kind of an allergy thing is the Frenchie. You know, he's got a little itchy skin, so he gets a Benadryl every day.
Oh,
But I
sweet
don't.
babies are better.
Yeah, but I don't have and I have dilutes. Plus I have a lot of blue dogs, and then I mean matter of fact, in Lilac's a dilute, Smut is a dilute, Blue is a dilute. I don't think I have a non-dilute dog on my yard.
Yeah, Adonis is a double dilute. So he's
Yeah.
every once in a while, and that, like, I don't know if you guys saw me. I had to go on a Benadryl run uh, because Adonis, he's on antibiotics right now, and so the antibiotics are making him a little bit yeasty, and like, so he was
Ah,
developing some
yeah.
hives. So I had to grab some Benadryl real quick, and he doesn't get Benadryl every single day. What I do is we treat the yard. We make sure that anything that he is topically treated with is
Yeah.
specifically for the things that he has any kind of allergy to, like grass mites. Personally, that's my personal favorite, grass mites.
Trust me.
Get grass mites. That's super fun. So other than just making sure that the topical treatments that you use are for that or include that, diatomaceous earth is kind of really your only other option, I feel.
Yeah, right. I mean, allergies are tough, and the only thing I know really is to try to go through process of elimination and try to feed as much of a raw diet as you can. You know,
Yep.
that is most of the allergy stuff is really created by some form of carbohydrate. Created through you know
Processed food.
kibbles, processed food, that kind of thing, and
Yep.
really narrow it down, eliminate it, and like Raul says, they're on QBN. So much of that stuff resides in the fat of the chicken
Yep.
and things like that. And a lot of dogs are allergic to chicken and so
Yeah.
on. So you really just have to go through the process of elimination and things like that. I did want to ask you, if you don't mind, can I show off one of the puppies?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, because she is screaming her head
I
off.
can hear her. Yeah, I
Yes.
can hear her. And I've been sitting there thinking, like, somebody needs to pick this baby up and hold
No.
her.
Yes, I'm gonna go get her. I'm gonna get her right quick. She is howling like I don't know.
Threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, right.
Mm-mm.
What is your problem? Come here.
Baby.
Come here.
Hi.
Just come here. Oh, I think come here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Difficult time grabbing this.
Come here.
Oh man.
So we named this girl. Her name is Red, but her actual her registered name we just put down as Melisandre.
Oh, the Red Priestess.
Gameth.
Oh goodness.
So this is she's a little red smut.
She is. Oh, sweet girl. Why are you crying?
Well, it doesn't seem that's actually now that I'm hearing it sounds like see that's short bus. See, it's not me.
Short bus. It's an awesome name.
So yeah, we call Buster Bus, right? And this little guy is a spitting image of his daddy, only he's going to be shorter, so we call him Short Bus.
Okay.
I can't even deal with you right now. Oh man. Well, while you're holding a puppy though, Sean decided he was going to hit us with a late night question. He says, "What is the percentage of pedigree COI accuracy as opposed to an embark COI percentage?"
Okay, well, let me go grab the one that is howling, and I will address it.
Grab the one that is howling because I'd like to see Short Bus.
Yeah, Short Bus. So, my goodness, such noisy Such noisy. Come here, short bus. Come here.
Not cooperating.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, I know why you're crying now. Quick, quick, quick.
Ruh-roh. Let's do a short stack.
Quick.
Oh,
Okay.
oh goodness. Oh, look at that chunk. Oh, him chunky. I'm here for it. Goo.
See this short bus?
Mm-hmm.
It is short bus.
Does look like him, Daddy.
Yeah, he does. They just got their
He's wiggly.
they just got their ears done on Sunday, but
Ah,
so
fresh fade, fresh fade.
yeah, and they're they're in their lanky stage right now, but
It is a seat. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. 13 weeks. I mean, yeah, but I mean, look at him though. You can tell the structure's there.
yeah. But yeah, he's wet. That's why he's
Oh,
out.
that's why he was howling.
He's peed in his crate. That's the problem. So,
I can
I gotta separate them so they don't mess their ears up. And so,
right, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of a
but to answer that question, I can typically tell what the difference is going to be based on the ancestor loss coefficient, which is another measurement of genetic diversity. So I have seen as little as a 5% difference, but I have seen as much as a four times difference. It
dang.
can be very little on paper, or it can be, very dramatic difference, which is
Right.
why understanding the rest of the analysis is important. So when I do one and I give them and I start talking about the ancestor loss coefficient, and we look at those things, I can give them a pretty good idea what the genetic is going to be.
Right.
Um, but for instance, on the breeding that Bella came from, they were like just shy of 10 on paper. And those three dogs ranged from 17 to 20 genetically, right?
Yeah.
So people have to, I mean, or one of the things to understand too is that um, genes are passed down through so many generations that even though a dog may not be line bred to that particular dog, they can still have those same genes that inherited by descent goes generation by generation. And so you won't know through the paper analysis until that got inherited. But then when you get the genetic, then it shows up, right? And so um, it's hard to say without understanding that other factor, in the analysis. But so it really can vary widely, because we never really do know what gets inherited, each successive generation, right? Whether they're homozygous or heterozygous, right? We don't know that. Only way to know that is through a genetic test. And so, again, it's a flashlight in the dark. It's like a lot of things. And that's the other thing too. An embark test, or any kind of genetic panel, right, is still just a tool to help you make a decision,
Yes.
right? And so, um, just because, and this is an important thing to understand, just because a dog is a carrier of a particular gene doesn't mean you eliminate that dog from the gene pool. It means you just breed around that,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. But knowing
Because
what you're having to breed around
yes,
is crucial.
and that's the tool. It's not. It's a decision making tool, and that's the reason why we do it. If we took every dog that was a carrier of a gene that we didn't like out of the gene pool, we wouldn't have very many dogs to breed to, right? The danger is breeding dogs and not having tested it all, you know, breeding blind. I mean, that's the true danger, right?
Hmm.
So that's why, all of my breeding age dogs here have all been tested. So I know what I need to do, right?
Right.
So if a dog on my yard doesn't fit what that particular dog needs, then I go find a different dog, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
short bus, short bus,
Man.
Rick, come here.
Well,
You better come.
yeah, it's important to have all the tools at your disposal. And we have way more now than we ever did. So it's one of those things where
Yes.
now it's almost like there's not a lot of excuses not to at least look into those things and to, have at least one of those in your pocket, really.
And
So
thank goodness for that. And I tell you what, the number still of come here, buddy. The number of still big time stud owners that don't test their dogs is still astounding to me.
yeah,
You know, they'll charge you 3 grand or want to charge you 3 grand for a stud fee, but they can't spend $100 on a genetic
yeah.
test.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, absolutely.
So this is I hate to say it. Well, I don't really hate to say it. This is one area of our breed where we need to become a lot more responsible.
I agree. I
So
agree for sure. Sure, buzz.
short bus. He's a he is a sweetie. I am telling you. What are you doing?
He
What are
is
you
busy.
doing?
I can see. Very
Oh,
busy.
he got lots of energy. This boy does.
Mm. Man, way more energy than I have any day ever. At this point.
Yeah.
Bless him, man. Well, I think that I think we're safe to say that
Yeah, yeah.
back.
We're good.
So he would have been back already, I think, by now. Bless him. And I haven't seen him in the comments or anything like that. So I figure we might go ahead and wrap things up. But
Yeah.
for anybody who hasn't had the opportunity to hear that your answer to this question, the other times that we've definitely asked it, I just kind of want to touch on that one last time. So if somebody came up to you and was wanting to kind of get into this, what would be your first recommendation?
Hmm. Have a good stack of money put back. Um,
It's fair.
but really, I wish I would have done a little bit more research in the beginning, gone to a few more shows, observe more. Don't be in such a hurry to just jump in and then figure out, what it is you want to do, and again, like we talked about, I mean, there's nothing wrong with really, just producing quality puppies, or it's a lot bigger commitment to build a program, you know, but decide which one you want to do, right?
Right.
And
Yep.
then I think the other thing is I'm never, even at my age and experience level, I'm never afraid to admit that I don't know something and
Yeah.
go figure out what that is, right? So um just never be afraid to learn.
That's Very, very good advice. A lot of people, they kind of want to walk into it feeling like they know everything, or they're either too afraid or they're too proud to ask questions. You know, and it's you can't be afraid in this. You just can't.
Well, yeah, a person's ego can be their biggest hindrance to them
Oh,
being successful.
100% for sure.
So, especially when it comes to trying to produce dogs or any other kind of animal, as far as that goes, you know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Hi,
and
Hans.
facets of life.
Yeah, right. They'll make a fool of you real quick.
For sure. But well, as
Guys,
always,
I want to thank you so much for allowing me to come on again, and it's always a pleasure.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's always fun to have you on. We've done it several times already. I don't see any reason why that's not going to continue.
That's right.
I hate that I won't see you at nationals, but at the same time,
I know. I know.
I will be looking forward to the next time we are able to see you in person or on the show. So,
Well, hey, we're going to Houston every other year, right? Isn't that the deal?
yes,
Houston
correct.
every other year.
Yes. Yeah. So
So,
next year will be Houston. Yes.
and hopefully I have a dog there that's good enough to compete.
Oh, I feel like that's inevitable. So hopefully that'll be the case, and we'll see you actually, not just see you there, but to also see you succeed. So
See, and don't tell Michael, but I think he's going to end up with Short Bus.
I don't think he's going to argue with you.
Yeah, I told him he could have him or the other male, whichever one I felt like was probably wanted him to have the best one, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just think show dog wise and everything, I think this guy's going to be the best.
Short Bus. Oh my God.
Short Bus.
You're going to make Short Bus part of our family. This is amazing. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I agree to this. I am on board.
Short Bus.
All right,
All
everybody.
right, guys. Well, I appreciate you so much.
All right,
Yes.
guys. All right.
All right.
Good
You guys
night.
have a good night. And thank you again, as always, Jerry. Thank you.
You bet.
All right.
You bet. Bye-bye. Yes, Short Bus. What's Short Bus?